Hello everyone and welcome to the program. I'm Sean Wakimale at Channels Television's global headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. Some Nigerians are not happy with the present crop of senators in the 9th Assembly, and the reason is not far-fetched. There is a legal class action against the Nigerian Senate, and it is instituted by some non-governmental organizations led by Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project (SERAP). A budget, another organization, Enough is Enough, EIE, and 6,721 other concerned Nigerians today said that they have filed a lawsuit asking the Federal High Court to restrain, prevent, and stop the National Assembly Service Commission from paying or releasing the sum of 5.550 billion budgeted for purchase of luxury cars for principal members of the 9th Assembly. Net Senate, that is, and to restrain and stop the Senate from collecting the money until the downward review of the amount proposed by the Senate. In the suit, the group say they filed last Friday at the Federal High Court, Ikoyi, Lagos. The plaintiffs argued that spending a huge sum of 5.550 billion to buy luxury cars for principal members of the 9th Senate is unjust and unfair. They also argue that the proposed spending by the 9th Senate raises pertinent questions, and some of these questions are this. What is the economic value and the contribution of the vehicles sought to be purchased to the grand scheme of the Nigeria's economy? They're also asking that what are the parameters used to arrive at the cost efficiency and value for money in the decision to purchase the vehicles? Another question is that where are the vehicles purchased by the 8th Senate? That's a Senate led by Bukola Saraki. The Senate spokesperson, Senator Adedayo Adeye, spoke exclusively to Channels Television. He's unable to join us live because he's in transit and away from the country. Take a listen to his reaction to that class action.
It's just an exercise in futility. A complete exercise in futility. Even I, as a senator, have not heard anything about that. So why people will be relying on rumors and newspaper reports, I wouldn't know. And in any case, if the Senate is going to spend that, if it is budgeted for, then it means it's purely legal. People forget that even ordinary directors in ministries, assistant directors, ordinary officers are entitled to official cars. So why would the National Assembly be different? Why are people focusing on National Assembly and not even looking at the executive and the judiciary and other arms of government? All of these people are entitled to official cars and they do use official cars. Agencies, directors of agencies, even minor officials in the agencies use official cars. And why would the National Assembly be different? Why should it be a problem in the National Assembly where we'll be entitled to cars, to use official cars? I don't understand. The vehicles that were bought 4 years ago, which some of them may not be serviceable anymore, and some of these vehicles probably have been sold to the former senators. Why should a new senator like myself be using an old vehicle, which I don't know the state of the vehicle? They don't even know whether some of the vehicles have had accidents or, of course, damaged or beyond repairs. Nobody knows that. They have not been able to find out. It is a normal practice, whether in the executive or judiciary, for vehicles to be bought at the beginning of a new administration. And that is what is just being done. I don't know why they are focusing on National Assembly. Their attention is getting too much, and I believe some people have some hidden agenda regarding the National Assembly of Nigeria. But let me sound a note of warning. If you try to destroy National Assembly, you will be destroying this democracy. Simple.
That is the spokesperson of the Nigerian Senate. So what exactly are the intentions of those who filed the action? It's raised some question. Those who are filing the class action have raised pertinent questions also. Let's get talking on this one for the next few minutes on the program. Let's hear from the head of the group in this class action, that is SERAP. Mr. Adetokunbo Mumuni is the director of SERAP. He joins us on the program tonight. Thank you so much, Mr. Mumuni, for coming on the program. You heard what Senator Adeye said, and one of his thing he said is that it is legal. Is it?
You see, what I think should happen is that when you want to exercise any power, you should exercise it not only legally, but ethically. Now, let us look for a moment at the justification for spending 5.5 billion naira on vehicles for members of the Senate Senate in an economy that said we have raised 30,000 naira as salaries for Nigerian workers, but has not yet started paying it. So look at that. Then look at it again, the question that we have raised. The senators took oath of office pursuant to Schedule 7 of the Constitution. They said we will act in the economic interest of Nigerian citizens and economic well-being of Nigerian citizens. What is the economic benefit that Nigerian citizens will have when this huge, humongous amount is spent on money for the Senate, on purchase of vehicles for the Senate? Now, let us ask, are the vehicles purchased for members of the National Assembly, the 8th Assembly, the 8th National Assembly, are they expendable commodities? As if when every Senate is inaugurated, it is compulsory that new vehicles must be purchased for them. So those are the issues that we have raised, which we have asked the court to look at for us. And we said, you see, when you talk about legality, you must do it legally based on existing law. There is Section 57, Subsection 4 of the Public Procurement Act of 2007. These expenses violate that law. And it's part of what we have said the Federal High Court should help us look at to determine whether that law is violated by this pronouncement.
Mr. Mumuni.
Again, let me say this again. When an infinitesimal proportion of the Nigerian population decide to spend this humongous amount of money, then we have problems.
A major one that I would like to ask you is that, do you have a legal or an official commitment from the Nigerian Senate that they are buying this vehicle, or where did you get that information from?
If you hear what Senator Adeyeye said, he said, where did we get it from? But he has not denied that they intend to purchase with such hefty amount of money. So let them deny it. We know we are ears are on the ground. We listen to what they say and we know what they want to do. Let the Senate deny that they are not interested in the purchase of such vehicle.
If they intend to purchase this vehicle in truth, if it's part of the budget, could it be seen as illegal? Because a budget is a bill passed into law.
Yes. No. You see, let us look at things sequentially. A budget properly passed, once it is passed, becomes law. But when you want to carry out the provision of a law, you cannot, whether by subterfuge or deliberateness, be violating the provision of extant law, which is also a law of the National Assembly. I've said Section 57, Subsection 4 of the Public Procurement Act 2007. Those are the issues we have asked the Federal High Court to help us resolve.
So you're asking for a downward review of that. What from 5 billion to what amount are you asking for?
You see, what the amount that we'll be asking for will be an amount that is reasonable in the context of the realities of the present-day Nigerian economy.
What would that amount be?
Probably about 1.5 billion.
Out of the 5.5 billion?
Yes.
Do you hope or suggest that the senators do not need vehicles to run their day-to-day activities or their oversight functions?
Let me tell you, the senators need vehicles, but they don't need expensive vehicles. That is the point that must be made, and that must be clearly made. You see, you don't need...
It was tagged luxury vehicles.
Yes.
So what kind of vehicle would you suggest will be fitting to the status of a Nigerian senator compared to how they stand comparable in the Nigerian Federal Civil Service?
You see, once the expression luxurious vehicle comes in, you will not be talking about vehicles that are easily and that are not too expensive. You see, once you say luxurious. You know the luxurious lifestyle of the average Nigerian politician.
All right. Mr. Mumuni, there's been conversations around how much an average senator earns. So if you look at, based on what one of the senators have come out in 2017-18, say this is what they are earning with a basic, okay, this was what actually Professor Ishe Sagi at the moment released when he challenged the Senate at the time to come forward with what they earn. So this is what they said they are earning. And at the time, it was debated that Nigerian lawmakers are perhaps the highest earning, highest paid lawmakers in the world.
You see, that is the point that must be made. You see, when you want to earn anything, you have to earn it in the reality of the people that you say you are representing. You see, when you are representing us, you are supposed to be our servant. You cannot, while representing us, be riding roughshod over us and be more or less saying we should pay through our nose to get you fed. That should not be the thing. For example, they have drivers. Their drivers are not earning over and above them. You understand? So that is the essential point that must be made.
But they do not fix their own salaries. It's Ramfak, I understand.
Let me
is
tell
responsible.
you, that is the point that I made in an event held by Sarah, the revenue
mobilization
allocation. I said the fixing of the remuneration of any politician or public servant must be done according to the law, and the law says they must be done in reality with the contemporary Nigerian economic life. So it is not as if they have the right to just introduce anything. What they must introduce must be constant, must make sense when you look at it from the point of the average Nigerian. What does the average Nigerian worker take? 30,000 naira. That has not been paid. It has been proposed. God knows when it will be paid.
But I mean, are you looking at a problem? Because if senators come and they go after every 4 years, some of them return, but this system seems to be there. It doesn't look like some of them who put this in place are the ones benefiting. It's a recurring system that they meet on the ground and they go. A lot of people who debated that, look, if you want to fix the system that has a portion perhaps too much in terms of the cost of governance in government.
That is the point that we are making. This cost of running Nigeria's democracy to us is too hefty. It is too terrible. It is unsustainable. It does not make sense. When you have an average Nigerian worker earning 30,000 naira, it doesn't make sense for a senator to earn 4.5 million or 5.5 million naira per month.
Well, it's even said that an average senator earns about 29 million monthly, plus or minus.
You see, they've not actually come up. You see, when a senator wants to say, I want to be good, he says, for instance, I leave my salaries to people for use. But the truth of the matter is that the actual amount that they generate altogether is over and above what they earn in terms of salaries. Pecuniary allowances such as
personal assistance,
all those
leave
things,
allowance, severance, gratuity, motor vehicle allowance, and this was broken down. If there is a breakdown also, which I hope will be put on the screen, the average Nigerian senator earnings, which was actually spilled out by one of their own in 2018, I guess, Senator Shehu Sani at the time, who was reported to have said the running cost for an average senator per month is about 13.1 million naira, and consolidated salary is about 750,000 naira per month, and monthly package is 13.8 million. Constituency projects accrue to an average senator is about 200 million for each senator, and is given the opportunity to execute constituency projects to this tune per annum. So that's what one of the senators came up with at the time. So if you, going forward, Mr. Mumuni, Senator Adeyeye said that your effort is in futility.
And let's see, we are in court. They will have to come and file their response. They will see whether what we are trying to say makes any sense at all.
But can one arm of government be in the way of another arm of government? When you are asking the judiciary to stop the activity of another arm of government.
No, we are not saying judiciary should stop the activity of any other.
But this is, they are saying that they want to purchase this vehicle for their logistics, for them to be able to do their duties.
No. What is allowed in a democracy is that when disputes, either between citizens and citizens, between citizens and department of government arises, the only way to resolve is to go before the judiciary, because that is the legally constituted body to look at the matter. The alternative is to say we should take laws into our hands, and we are not ready to do that. So the only constitutionally recognized body to tackle the matter for is the judiciary, and that's why we are at the Federal High Court.
Summarize to us what you want the court to do.
No, we want the court to force the Senate to have a review downwards of this bogus amount that to be expended on the purchase of vehicles for the senators, luxurious vehicles. We will also want the court to determine for us whether this proposed expenditure is not in violation of Section 57, Subsection 4 of the Public Procurement Act 2007, among other issues.
What kind of vehicle would you suggest that they should use?
I don't even know how we have gone this too expensive. I remember that during the previous military regime, 504 were the vehicles known for civil servants. Even if we want to upgrade, we cannot upgrade to the luxurious level that the senators are telling us to move on.
Mr. Adetokunbo Mumuni, thank you so much for coming on. We do hope and we'll be monitoring your action in court against the Senate. Thank you so much for coming on.
It's a pleasure being here.
Let's switch focus for a moment on, and this is going to be on the issues of rule of law in Nigeria and the approach of the Buhari-led federal government. The issue was a point of debate at the Nigerian Bar Association conference, which held in Lagos during the week. The conversation was as intriguing as it was interesting. There's a very interesting session, however, that had a former NBA president, Mr. Olisa Agbakoba, who chaired a panel, and this is what he said.
Unfortunately, the NJC is busy doing other things than fighting for financial independence, because I feel that if the judges are truly free, the rule of law will have meaning.
After that comes the Senate Minority Leader, Eyinaya Abaribe, who was also part of that panel, who raised the issue of the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Walter Onogen. He believes that the legal community did not rise up to the occasion. Take a listen to Senator Abaribe.
In the matter of Onogen, what happened? We waited for the Bar Association, nothing happened. We waited for their fellow judges, nothing happened. And everybody was looking at us. And what we were waiting for, because the law is very clear, you cannot remove a Chief Justice without coming to the Senate. Yet, it happened, and nothing happened.
When two senior advocates of Nigeria rose to argue on the matter, it became a bit more controversial. Mr. Mike Ozekome first spoke, and his fellow senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, responded. Take a listen to the two of them.
Since members of the bench are defunct and they cannot protest by themselves, taking on the kind of role we saw lawyers do on the 9th of March 2007, when they went to the streets in Pakistan and shut down the entire country because President Pervez Musharraf removed unjustly and unconstitutionally Mohammed Musharraf, the then Chief Justice. Can't we do more than we have done?
My learned friend talked about Pakistan. Yes. The Chief Justice then was not removed for corruption. Olisa, can the NBA morally go to the street to fight for judges who have millions that they cannot account for in their accounts?
That's where we premise our conversation tonight on the program. but we'll take a break. When we come back, my panel is in our Abuja studio. They have their legal standpoint on this one, and they are all partisan stand on this one. But when we come back, we look at President Buhari and his approach to the rule of law. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.